Hello and welcome to this Long Island weather report. We've got a cold air mass in place briefly, uh, and you can see here skies have mostly cleared out. There are some clouds still around, patchy clouds, but we did have a lot of clouds around today for the most part. That's what very much would look like towards sunset. You can see some clouds there, starting to break up, and then as we got toward the evening, skies were mostly clear toward the evening. Had a nice clear sky out there, a few little patchy clouds. So Mill Lake and Wantar, and then just nice starlit skies. Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you where that pine is, but right now. But it's still kind of chilly out there, so let's go take a look at what we got going on outside. Wind is cold, but it still hasn't dropped below freezing yet, which I'm kind of surprised about. 35 degrees at Islip, dew points down to 16, but I mean, I thought it would have dropped below freezing by now, and it is not. A wind advisory looks like it's been dropped for Long Island, but continues for Jersey, or maybe not. All right. It's the gust of 43, though, at the entrance to New York Harbor. I just think it's colder in Jersey, so the colder air is worked in over there. Below freezing in Toms River, 30, and the dew point of 15 with a west wind at 16, gusting 22 at Miller Air Park. And you can see the westerly flow here, but you can see much colder. The cold, like I said, the heart of the cold air has dipped more down into the West Virginia area. We got temperature 19 degrees over here in Elkins with a little light snow. So they're getting a little bit of light snow, and you can see where the core of the cold air has kind of gone down into the south here. It's actually colder in northern Alabama than it is here right now. Decatur is down to 26. So the cold air has kind of dived down south a little more before it's made its way into our area. And, of course, we've got lake effect snow warnings in effect for until 8 p.m. Friday for, it looks like, a lot of these areas here. 4 a.m. Saturday, so we've got a lot of lake effect snow. A lot of wind, pretty strong wind gusts over here, too. Erie is reporting light snow. So they are definitely getting that lake effect snow upstate. So let's look at the radar here. You'll see, again, there's that lake effect that you have over here. It doesn't look quite as heavy as it was the last time around. Probably because, again, the fetch over the lakes isn't quite as... It's more of a northwest flow over the lakes. Turns more west over us, but northwest winds is less of a fetch over the lakes, whereas a west wind is a much longer fetch and therefore heavier snow. But it still looks like there's some heavy snow around Watertown. Looks like they're getting hit pretty hard. So let's go look at our highs, lows, and precipitation levels. In fact, we're going to first start, before we even do that, let's look at the latest snow and wind reports from the Weather Service, which we have up here. So let's do that. And we'll just use that as a background, I guess. And you'll see here that, parts of Connecticut, 3.2 inches. New Haven, parts of New Haven got up to 4.5 inches. New London. Those are the northern areas generally, but some of the more surprises for us, I think, was on Long Island, where Plainview got an inch. So, again, first measurable snowfall on Long Island last night, 0.8 inches at Levittown. Herrick's, as we headed into Central Nassau, only 0.2. Belmore just reporting a trace. Central Park had a trace. And going into Suffolk County, Comac got an inch. Poquat got an inch. Smithtown got an inch. So North Shore, Suffolk County, Center Reach got 0.6 inches. Deer Park got 0.5 inches. Islip got 0.2 inches of snow. So, yeah, very interesting to see. We definitely weren't expecting that. Here are the wind reports. Some wind gusts up in Fairfield County, 41 miles an hour. New Haven. I want to really scroll down to the more impressive wind gusts here as we get closer to the coast. You'll see 51 mile an hour wind gusts at Bayville. So that's for Nassau County. Central Park gusted to 40. It's not terrible. LaGuardia gusted to 49. It's almost 50. JFK gusted to 49, which is almost 50 miles an hour. Suffolk County, oh, look at that. Stony Brook, 60 miles an hour. Eaton's Neck, 53 miles an hour. South Hill, 51. So along the coast, it seemed like that's where the winds were higher. And then we have these reports here from some of these maritime stations. Robert Moses gusting to 51 miles an hour. Robbins Reef gusting to 51 miles an hour. So definitely some 50-plus mile an hour wind gusts out there, mainly in the more open areas. You can see, again, there is some snow shower activity on the radar here a little bit, very light in nature. So let's go look at our highs and lows and actual precipitation amounts for today. We'll first start with precipitation. We'll do a 36 hour, I guess, see how much rain fell, and rain and liquid equivalent. So Islip got about a half an inch, 0.52. In Nassau County, a little bit less as we head into Nassau County, definitely under a half an inch. Generally more closer to around a quarter of an inch, almost a quarter of an inch at JFK. As we headed further out east, West Hampton got 0.58, and then 0.76, so three-quarters of an inch at Montauk. And Connecticut also seeing somewhat around that half inch to point. But then as we head into the city, barely anything. 0.10 at Central Park. Jersey, barely anything. Toms River, 0.09, and Toms River itself, 0.15 at the Miller Air Park. So, again, much less to the west, more to the east, just as we expected. The high temperatures are pretty much the lows are probably what we have right now currently. So I'll just show you the high temperatures. 45 at West Hampton, so we can get to the mid-40s. 43 at Islip, 40 at Central Park. Let's see how Jersey did with the high temperatures here. And 43 in Miller Air Park. So pretty much mid-40s pretty much everywhere. We'll look at our climate statistics for the day. And then we'll talk about tomorrow's weather. No, that's right. That doesn't work. Keep forgetting. And let's go to the Islip. And 43 degrees at Islip for a high, 33 for a low. Still ran about 2 degrees below normal for the day at Islip. So let's talk about what we have coming up as we head into tomorrow. Obviously, we've got this cold blast of air that's coming in, as you see here. And that's going to continue tomorrow. I'll talk about the weekend tomorrow night. The ice bars get a little further spread apart, but it's still a decent squeeze play going on, so it's still going to be breezy with the winds. So let's take a look at the HRRR here. And look at the precip first of all, and you'll see again that it's showing maybe a flurry or two. I think we'll be dry right through tomorrow. I don't think we'll have to deal with any. I mean, I can't rule out maybe a flurry or two on the east end just from ocean effect, perhaps. The bigger question is obviously what's going to happen with the sky. So 17Z, which is noon. Let's take a look and see what we have. So I'm going to put this over, take a sounding right over Long Island. It looks like the lines are kind of close to each other again, but not quite touching. So they're close to each other. Let's look at New Jersey and see what they're looking like. They're a little bit further apart in New Jersey for cloud cover. So maybe more clouds over Long Island, maybe less clouds over New Jersey, perhaps, for tomorrow, perhaps. So we'll have to see how that works out. That's just one model. All right. Let's look at the dew points and wind flow. So here is the dew points and wind flow. Dew points drop more tomorrow. They're going to drop probably down to the single digits, perhaps closer even to looks like the driest air is like right over Jersey. So that maybe where there are less clouds, maybe forecast for that area. But you see the drier, definitely drier air there that we have. So this is going to be this is real Arctic air that we have, and you see the northwest winds, though not quite as strong as today. And then going tomorrow night, we'll talk about tomorrow night when we get to tomorrow night's weather report. Let's look at temperatures. And you'll see tonight, we're not going to really get radiational cooling. We'll probably drop into the mid-20s. And then for tomorrow, yeah, the HRRR still has a struggling, especially on Long Island, to get above the 32-degree mark, maybe mid-30s if you're in the southern half of New Jersey. But it's going to be feeling pretty cold tomorrow, for sure. If I look at the GFS also now similar as well with this, showing this. So you can see here, going to be a cold day tomorrow. Very cold day. Soundings, I can look at the GFS with soundings. I can do 12Z in the morning. You see those lines are kind of close to each other at the surface over Jersey. Let's see if they're a little further. Yeah, they're pretty close. So the GFS maybe not. We only get 12Z and 18Z on the GFS. So I can see 18Z. Yeah, they're close. Not quite touching, but you see that low level moisture there, courtesy of the lakes. Probably, I'm guessing that's what it's from. So even though there is dry air, it looks like it's a little bit better in Jersey. But you see how it swings all the way over here like that. That's an indication of, see how dry the air is up here, and then you get that. And we have the inversion here. Yeah, slight, yeah. So we'll have to watch to see if we get all those clouds popping up again. That's very hard to forecast, as you know. GFS shows, here's the GFS for cloud cover forecast, and it does show some clouds over Long Island at 7 in the morning. And then as we get closer to 1, it still says some clouds over Long Island, but less over Jersey. RGM, let's look at the RGM next. And we have the 12Z RGM to work with. And similar idea on the RGM. Right? Kind of has some clouds over Jersey, but it seems like it's got more clouds developing over Long Island, perhaps. So there'll be some sun mixing in with the clouds. Hopefully more sun than clouds, hopefully for tomorrow. So we'll have to see how it turns out. Sometimes it's just very hard to tell. But when you do look at this satellite, you'll see a lot of clouds upstream. So these are all, again, this is all from the lakes. It comes down. If you're on the other side of the lakes, you don't have to worry about that. But you see all that moisture coming down from the lakes there. So this is the issue that we have. It makes it a challenge for cloud cover forecasts. Because, again, you have that northwest fetch. Now, if this was coming right from the north, we wouldn't have this issue. We would have a crystal clear sky. But this is what we have to, if you're in the south, look at that. You will have a crystal clear sky if you're in Virginia or North Carolina. But for us, we're going to have to watch out for this Q development, stratocu development. That's always the fly in the ointment with this type of setup. So, with that wraps up this Long Island weather report. Have a good night.